Hi everybody and welcome to Skill Up. My name is Ahmed Akbari. I usually record my teaching in my classes, and today we talked about IELTS Speaking Part 1 and the general information that all candidates who want to take IELTS Speaking need to know. So if you don't have any information about the IELTS Speaking Part 1 in terms of the number of questions, types of questions, the structure of the questions, and the standard length of the answer in IELTS Speaking Part 1, I suppose watching this video can help you in order to get the information that you need. Thank you. Hi everybody and welcome. First of all, I want to congratulate you because of having this courage in order to start your IELTS speaking journey. First of all, I have to say it is going to be a tiring and long journey, and here in this class we are supposed to speak a lot, and we are supposed to work hard by talking about the different sample questions of IELTS Speaking Part 1. The only thing that I want you to remember is that the key here is just patience. If you want to make progress in speaking, the first thing that you need to remember is patience, because as we all know here, mastery requires patience. Okay, so first of all, as always, the first step in my classes is talking about general information of the first section of IELTS Speaking Part 1. So let's get started with the most important things that you need to know about IELTS Speaking Part 1, which is called warm-up. If you don't have any questions, we can start with the format of the test. IELTS Speaking test is in a face-to-face interview with an examiner. Sometimes this is going to be an online test, particularly in those centers that there is no examiner, and they usually ask students to take speaking test as an online test. And the second thing is that the IELTS speaking section is most of the time before the other three skills, before reading, listening, or writing, or sometimes it is after. In some centers, you have the option in order to choose, but in others, they will tell you the time, and you're supposed to take the test based on their own schedules in their own center. This is the two important things that you need to know. Apart from that, I would like to talk about examiners. Okay, let's focus on this part. Who are examiners? Examiners are basically certified and qualified people. They will help you to take the test easily. They will give you instruction, and also they will assess your performance based on 4 criteria of IELTS speaking test. Most of them are friendly, and you will feel comfortable, and their only aim is to make you feel comfortable in the beginning of the test. And it doesn't matter where you take the test, all the examiners around the world will follow the same procedure for marking and assessing your test. So it doesn't matter where the test is, because there is a specific criteria and a specific procedure. So don't think about that and just focus on your own abilities in IELTS. The second thing is about the time of IELTS Speaking Part 1. It is basically 4 to 5 minutes. And the next thing is about the structure and the number of questions that you are supposed to answer. Okay, the first thing that we are supposed to remember is that the questions are in clusters or in topic area. Let me explain a little bit, okay, about what does the word questions in cluster mean. In IELTS Speaking Part 1, examiners don't ask separate questions from different, topics. They usually ask their questions in topic areas. For example, shopping topic areas. Questions might be like this. How often do you go shopping? Have you ever bought something online? How often do you buy new clothes? Do you like big shopping malls or small stores for shopping? 4 questions for shopping. Finish. Now let's talk about chocolate. How often do you eat chocolate? Is chocolate expensive in your country? Did you like eating chocolate when you were a child? Finish. Now let's talk about art. Are you interested in art? What kind of art are you interested in? Have you ever visited a gallery or an art exhibition? Do you like to be an artist in the future? Finish. As you could see, there were three topic areas: shopping, chocolate, and art. There weren't many different questions. No, the questions were focused on this topic area. This is exactly happens in this is what happens in IELTS Speaking Part 1. The questions aren't separated. They are in clusters. They are in topic area. And it is very important for you to know that, because you will be prepared in order how to tackle the questions. So this is the first thing. About the number of questions, you will answer approximately 9 to 12 questions. It is different based on examiner's considerations, based on the length of your answers on your test. But it is 9 to 11 questions in 3 to 4 topic areas. So imagine that there are 3 topic areas in IELTS Speaking Part 1, and for each topic area you answer 3 questions, so the total number of questions will be 9. Okay? This is the structure and the number of the questions that you're supposed to answer. The next thing, something important that I want you to remember. In IELTS Speaking, the first topic area which you will be asked will be 1. Your studies, your job, or where you live. These are always starter topics. The examiners always start with one of these 3 areas. How? When you start the test, the first thing that they ask you, do you have a job or a student? And imagine that you say, okay, currently I'm studying. Then the questions will be focused on your studies. Or for example, you say, to be honest, I graduated from university 5 years ago. Now, currently I'm working. So the questions will be about your job. Sometimes examiners ignore this question and they say, okay, where do you live? And say, currently I'm living in an apartment which is located in city center. So they will talk about where you live. They may ask some questions about your home, your neighborhood, or your hometown. Okay? So again, let's have a review. The first topic areas that you will answer questions are your job, your studies, and where you live. The IELTS Speaking always starts with one of these topic area. This is what we are sure about. Okay? So it is worth mentioning that being prepared for one of these 3 topic areas is very important. And the reason is that when you are well prepared to answer this question, you will have a better self-confidence, you have higher self-confidence in order to continue. And on the other hand, if you have problem answering these questions in the beginning, it is obvious that you may lose your self-confidence. So the first thing that I want you to remember is being prepared for job, studies, and where you live in the beginning of IELTS Speaking. And now let's talk about another important things. Focus of the questions. What are the questions about, basically? What is the focus of the question in IELTS Speaking Part 1? What the examiner wants to know in questions. Let's get started with the first one. Sometimes the focus of the question is personal information. Things such as your job, your studies, and where you live. And as we talked about, it happens in the beginning of the test. What is the second thing? It is about your daily routine. The questions which are focused on your daily routine. For example, when do you usually wake up during the weekdays? What about the weekend? How do you spend your evening on weekend? The questions which are focused on what you usually do during the day. When do you start your work? When do you finish your work? When do you have a break at work? As you can see, you're supposed to talk about your daily routine. Sometimes it is about your likes and dislikes questions. And it can be about different things. For example, what kind of food do you like? What kind of movies do you like to watch? What kind of people do you like working with? Do you like extreme sport? Do you like eating foreign food? And so it is basically about what you like or what you dislike. The next area would be about your personal preferences. In these questions, you are being asked to choose one thing, okay, between 2, and talk about what you prefer. Do you prefer rainy days or sunny days? Do you prefer drinking tea or coffee? Do you prefer to have a large circle of friends or just a few close friends? Do you prefer to travel alone or with a group of people? So in these types of questions, you are supposed to express your preference. The second one is about the next one is about your hobbies and your free time, the thing that you usually do in your free time. It can be about yourself, it can be about the people in your country sometimes. The next one is societal observation. And this is very interesting. Let me explain a little bit. What are societal observation? In fact, in these questions, you are supposed to talk about your country, the current situation in your country related to the question. For example, do people in your country exercise? Are there enough sport facilities in your hometown? How do people in your country celebrate New Year? What kind of movies are people in your country, particularly young people, are interested in? As you can see, you're supposed to talk about your country and the current situation in your country. Sometimes it is about cultural trends in your country. The next one is about your life experiences. It often starts with have you. Have you ever spoken to a celebrity? Have you ever traveled abroad? Have you ever cooked foreign food? For example, have you ever lost your temper and get angry? In these types of questions, you're supposed to talk about the specific life experiences. And the last one is the frequency of your action. These questions always start with how often. How often do you go to the movies? How often do you buy new clothes for yourself? How often do you hang out with your friends? How often do you travel? How often do you cook at home? How often do you visit your relatives? As you can see here, the focus is on your own, your frequency of your action, okay, in your life. So as you can see, these are the focus of the questions. And we can say that all of these questions are somehow related to personal and familiar issues during the day. And because of that, it is called a warm-up. I don't want to get information from you. I don't want to know you better. I want to know about your life, your personal life, and about your personality. And because of that, they call it warm-up or introduction. And the next thing, length of your answers. And this is one of the most controversial issues in IELTS Speaking Part 1. How much should I talk? On the one hand, if you just talk little, for example, if I ask a question, what kind of food do you like? And say, to tell you the truth, fast food. I love eating fast food. It would be too short. On the other hand, if you talk a lot, if you talk too much, again, it is a little bit strange. And the reason is that if you talk too much, if your answers are long, I won't have that much time as your examiner to complete asking questions, because there are supposed to be 9 to 12 questions, and we have just 4 to 5 minutes. So talking too much, giving long answers would be not a practical strategy. This is the first reason. And the second reason is that, as a speaking part 1, all my questions are somehow personal. These questions aren't that much difficult to be answered. And when you talk a lot, the possibility of going off topic will increase. And you may lose coherence, because the questions aren't that much difficult to be answered. And when you talk a lot, this possibility will increase dramatically. So what is the standard length? Basically, 3 to 4 spoken sentences would be enough length. It would be a standard length. Okay? And as you know, spoken sentences are basically shorter than written sentences. For example, when you say, yes, I do, the examiner consider it as a one complete sentence. So your sentences would be 3 to 4 spoken sentences. It would be the standard length. And the last question is about the language, about the words that I'm supposed to use, about the vocabulary. It would be colloquial language, but colloquial, I mean conversational language. The language that you usually use during the day when you're talking with your friends in informal setting. Okay? As you know, there are two different settings: formal settings and informal settings. To give an example of a formal setting, it can be maybe a meeting with, I don't know, your boss, with the manager. In this kind of situation, the language is formal, basically. But for us, speaking part one, colloquial language, which is filled with idioms, with idiomatic expressions, everyday vocabulary. This is a vocabulary that you need. If you use formal words, it would be a little bit strange because the questions are personal, and somehow we can say part one is a little bit informal because you're talking about yourself. So make sure your language is colloquial. And the last thing that I want to remember, and it is about your mentality. Okay, remember that in also speaking part one, you are somehow like a celebrity who has been invited to a talk show, and this person is giving personal information and talking about everyday issues. So being open to communication, not being that much serious, smiling, laughing, and having a soft tone is very important. Please don't be that much serious for answering these questions while speaking part one, because first of all, it is a little bit awkward, it is a little bit strange. The questions aren't that much difficult to put you under pressure. They're normal. So if you're too serious for answering them, it's a little bit awkward and strange. Try to be lighthearted in tone. Try to be communicative. Smile a lot and imagine that you're like a celebrity who has been invited. Be full of energy and just try to communicate. Don't try to impress me as your examiner because it will have negative consequences. Just try to communicate, stay positive, and be yourself. Okay? If there's no question, we can continue. Okay? Get ready. Nothing? So let's get started by practicing. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed watching it and you have found some useful points which can be helpful for improving your performance in IELTS Speaking Part 3. If there is any questions about IELTS Speaking Part 3 that you haven't found any videos related to, I would be appreciated if you share it with us in order to give us some more ideas about IELTS Speaking Part 3. And also, if there's any recommendation about the videos, it would be very helpful if you share them with us in order to help us to improve the quality of our channels and the videos. Thanks a million for staying with us. Take care.